Right, so welcome back to the part 3 of the Talk Up podcast, and we're now on to what you've all been waiting for, and I think you should let us know what is going on, because I don't really know myself, so go away.
Well, it depends on who you listen to, right? So first of all, right, there's a few things I want to say. One, thank you to everyone who reached out. I didn't know I was that popular. No, all jokes aside, like from customers to again to people I haven't spoken to in years, to competitors, believe it or not, reaching out, asking, making sure I'm okay, wishing me all the best, loads of that. So first of all, I really appreciate that, because it has been a really difficult time for me and the family. So thank you very much. Before I address the other bit, I may as well tell you what happened.
Start from there.
Start from there. So
where has this all come about? So you've done a LinkedIn post, didn't you?
Yeah. So I quit my job. Like, something that people do every day of the week, which, depending on who you listen to, I'm not allowed to do. But so basically, what happened is people who have only known me in the past 3-4 years because of Verso, which is obviously a brand that I created in conjunction with a factory to make circuit protection. Okay, that's distributed by a company called the Premspec Group in the UK. They're not the same thing. Okay, Verso is a brand of product, not a company. Okay, so if you are going to go searching on Companies House, etc., fact check. But the company I work for is a company called the Premspec Group. And I've worked there, it was originally called the Premspec Electrical Products, and I've worked there for 11 years.
Right.
I started it basically 11 years ago from a laptop in Starbucks with someone else's money.
Okay.
So that person owned the company. I became managing director of that company in 2016, and there were promises made at that time and everything else to give me something to aim for. Should we put it that way? I don't want to get into too much detail of it.
You're building a brand and you got to have something in return.
No, I'm building a company. Okay, so that's it. So I'm building this company from nothing into a company of something. Okay, right, I spent 11 years doing that. Yeah. Along that journey, in my own, for myself and everything, I create a brand, and I build and design a level of product for the factory with that brand, to launch that brand. Now, I then, on behalf of Premspec, pitch to the factory that Premspec are the best vehicle to distribute that product in the UK.
Okay.
Because again, I'm under a promise of an MBO, so I'm aiming to build Premspec as the biggest company possible so it can afford a management buyout. As time progresses and other things happen during that time period, mainly the company gets pulled into a legal situation because of decisions made by the ownership.
Not yourself?
No, definitely not myself, or anyone that works there. And I won't mention that company or anything else because it's not, I've got too much respect for them, to be truthfully honest. That situation is still ongoing, and based on conversations had and everything else, I couldn't stay there, and I had to make a decision for mate, it's getting me now. I had to make a decision for my family and myself. I'm 36 years old, okay, and I got a really young family. I got 3 kids, and I just couldn't, knowing that these promises were written in invisible ink, knowing the situation and what it is and what it could be, it was one of those where I've got to get out before it creates me a problem. Because as a director with a company, it was me that was getting the flack for it.
Right. Even though you hadn't essentially done anything wrong.
Well, did I not do anything wrong? I did, because I was naive. Like, I may as well bear it bones here. I was naive because I didn't know what extent my responsibility went to as a director, especially when you don't own a company. Okay, when you didn't own shares in the company, like at the time. So
you've put your trust
100%
in someone else,
100%, and trusting them to do the right thing by me. And when that doesn't materialize, and then that, that starts getting worse over 3 or 4 years, and then you realize, and then you find out that promise that you've been working for, 70, 80-hour weeks of sacrifices you made, that your family made, Now, I've talked about them all the time about the travel away and everything else. You know, I basically missed the first year of my son's life because I worked my freaking arse off. And then all of a sudden you find it's just built on nothing. And it's just like, and then something else come down the pipeline, and it was about 2 weeks before, and I was like, that's enough.
The final straw, like.
Yeah. So on the 22nd of February, I went up, met with the owner, and I just said, look, I'm done. Left everything as, absolutely fine. There's a team in place there. They're more than capable. I've been training for 11 years. I better be. Do you know what I mean? Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is I don't work there anymore.
My next question, probably what most people are thinking, is what happens with Verso? Something you've been pushing, essentially, and building yourself. What happens to that now? How does that work?
Well, I mean, whilst I'd love to tell you that the product is the factories. Okay, I didn't pay for any of that. That's owned by the factory. It's patented. Okay, yes, did I design it? Yes, but I didn't like. That's where
was it your money?
No, and that's where the trade-off is, right? So it's my trademark and brand and their investment on product, and together you launch a product. Okay,
right, okay.
So that's what we did. What they want to do now will be up to a conversation that they need to have with PremSpec. Now, at some point, I'll need to be involved in that conversation because it's my trademark. But, at this moment in time, I, as far as I know, it's business as usual. So for those of you out there, and this is the next bit I want to get onto, because I think this is the bit that why everyone's got the question. Depending on who you listen to, depends on the reason why I left. That's the reason I left. So for those of you who thought I was terminally ill, thank you for your concerns. To my knowledge, I'm absolutely fine. That scared the shit out of me when I heard that. No, I did not get sacked. That was another one. No, there was no quality issues with the product, and you know exactly who you are, spreading around up in the northwest that there's a quality issue with our product, and the company couldn't afford a recall, and that's why it's going bust or some other nonsense. To those social media personalities, again, I was going to mention you by name because it ticked me off that much, but I'm not going to bother, that have a huge following, right? And you don't fact check anything before you put people's livelihoods at risk or people's work that they've worked their entire careers for at risk. Okay? Like, please use that more responsibly. Because what you also didn't appreciate is that because I have left, obviously there are people that...
I think what you're saying is the knock-on effect that someone has
huge.
said that has caused
massive
back, behind closed doors issues.
And not to literally keep talking about him. Dave Savory put up a video, okay, which apparently was the root of all evil according to this other social media personality, and that's where he got his information from. Okay, now Dave, I watched that video because you sent me the link. I watched that video, and all Dave said was he put up my LinkedIn post that I had left the company, which is true.
Yeah, he said nothing.
Nothing about anything else. He said, because SBS had gone bust, and I really feel for all the guys there. And all he said was, uncertain times, we'll see what happens, which is fair. But that was it. So for everyone else, just wind it in. It's hard enough as it is at the minute, right? All I've done is quit my job. And I'm pretty sure at some point, everyone watching this has quit a job or left a job for a different job. Okay? And that's all that's happened. I am not currently re-employed, although I am working quite closely with the guys here at 360, which I'm very grateful for, which is paying my mortgage. And, and I'm doing this. And I want to launch Talk Up as more than just a podcast. I want to drive it into more of a production company. And the Verso videos that I was doing, the educational stuff, I want to drive a little bit more of that. And again, working alongside these guys here, I'm looking to try and put some sort of events together and things like that. So that at the moment is my initial, that's what I'm doing.
So for like people like myself and people who fit Verso boards, do you still recommend us to fit them essentially?
There's not a better tested device on the market still. There isn't. There's not another brand that I'm aware of that goes to the level of testing that a factory does on that product. Okay, so if you can still access Verso product, of course I suggest you fit it. I don't want to see my best part of my career's worth of work go down a pan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Paul and the guys at the factory are incredible, and they when at the point where I left, there was so much other product like 3-phase and other things in the pipeline that they were developing for that Verso product, and I really hope to see it all on the market as soon as I can. I really do, but again, I'm not part of that conversation. It's not, and I don't want to be at this moment in time. Once I've stepped away from this whole situation, it's taken me quite a few weeks just to get my head right. When you completely become, like, again, I was 25 when I started at PremSpec, and it was such a huge part of who I am, my identity, how I identified as myself. It fudged my head up massively leaving.
Well, a lot of people think of Verso, they think of you as well.
Yeah,
like Mr. Verso.
Yeah, yeah, which I appreciate, and I really do. But I hope that the impact of what I did with Verso wasn't just a product. It was because I absolutely love this. I love this industry. I love circuit protection. Hopefully one day, when I'm ready and in the right space, I'll end up back somewhere doing. That's why I want to keep doing the videos and stay involved and stay on the pulse and stuff. Hager, if you need some PR help, give me a shout. But like, you know, and I do, and I'm super passionate about it. I really am, and I hope I get back into it at some point. But at this moment in time, with all this stuff going on as it is, I just need a minute.
Makes sense.
And that's the truth. That's what's happened. So yeah, and I have been built. For those of you listening, I've been more nervous about doing this podcast to address this than anything I can think of in a long time, because just talking about it breaks me.
Yeah, I can imagine something. Even like I've left a job before. I was only there a couple of years or whatever. And it's just like, it is a big change in your life, and for something that you put so much work into, to kind of almost just go.
Well, don't forget, I was working towards buying that company back.
That's what you had in your head.
That's what the MBO was for, right? Is that an MBO stands for management buyout, and that's what I was promised. And that's the only reason after this whole thing come down, this legal thing come down, I even stayed, because I was told I can't afford to deal with this unless I stayed. The whole thing was, it just eat me. It broke me, and you keep going back to the well almost. It's like just like bloody an abusive relationship, really, to be honest with you. And all for the promise of, do you know what? I will. It'll be worth it
in the end.
100%. Like, I'll get this, and I can put stuff right. I can do things the right way. I can look after the people that have supported me, from customers to staff to family to everything. And then when I realised that was ripped away, and that was all built on a lie, I felt naive. I felt stupid. I felt used. It broke me. Absolutely broke me. So yeah, talking about it's actually quite difficult. Although,
I think the main bit's done now. So
yeah. So guys, that's the gossip. Yeah.
So to put it in aspect, you don't work there anymore.
No.
You created Verso. You still stand by Verso at the moment.
Yeah.
Or what it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't know what could change now. So stuff could change. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be very hard for the product to change, because the factory own the distribution rights of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure how that would. I don't think Verso product can become something else, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Verso product will be Verso product. It's not like PremSpec could go to a different factory and make that product. It just wouldn't happen. So the quality standards and all that sort of stuff are exactly the same. Okay. So for everyone worried about that, you don't have to be. Like I say, PremSpec's still trading. Everything's still fine. All that happened is I quit. That's literally all that happened.
The face of it's gone.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And, I'm sure there'll be someone there ready to step into my shoes, or there'll be other people that want that job, and good luck to them. And I really do. No, I do. I mean it, like, because if someone goes in there with the right mindset of this is a job, and I want to do this job well, they'll do a fantastic job there. I was there with a different mindset, under different pressures. I was a director. I was the only director, and I was building something for me and my family for the future. If it was just a job, trust me, mate, I'd have left 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd have never put Verso through it. Like, I wouldn't have done. I'd have put that through someone else. Maybe approached, another importer like, I don't know, Super Rod, or, Skolmore, or anyone else. Say, look, I've got this product. I developed this, that, and the other. What do you think? And, and I would have done. But I was built, in my head, I was like, look, I've invested everything I am into this, and this is what I'm building for. This is what I promised my family. This is what I promised my friend. Everyone that worked for me was on a promise. And, you know, it got to the point, and that was the other thing. I felt so guilty and so naive and stupid that they almost stopped me from leaving for so long.
You didn't want it to be true.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't. And, you know, it was people close to me in the end that just went, mate.
So that's a similar thing. Like, I put a lot of trust in a lot of people. As like you say, I don't always put stuff in writing. I don't always do that.
And that was my biggest mistake.
And it makes you think sometimes. You just never know, do you? You just, like, I know one of my mates is, no matter what we do, like we do the newsletter together, he gets everything written up.
Yeah.
Anything we do is written up. I'm like, Job, we don't need to do that. He's like, no, we do that. You just never know. But which is a good way to be, and it's the way everyone should be.
And it should be. And do you know what? It's funny when I speak to people who are more experienced in this, or been through something like this similar, or just a little bit more, I don't want to say less trusting, but practical about things. So like, you can never. Circumstances change, people change, time changes everything. If you write it down, you get it written up, everyone knows what they're working to. It removes any distrust or any fear or anything. You can actually do better and do more. And you know, and I tried a little bit when I was there, and it was just never his way.
I think it's a thing for some people as well. You don't want to come across disrespectful.
Yeah,
because it's almost, it can be seen as a sign of disrespect, like, what, you don't trust me.
Yeah, of course. But that's a generational thing, and that was the situation I was up against. Like, this guy is a lot older than me, older than me, right? Yeah. And there's a way of doing things in their generation, and that's how he operates. So you push back against that, and it's not met with a smile and a hug. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. And like I said, I don't wish him any ill. I don't wish them any ill. I wish them all the best. It's just that situation for me personally became so toxic that it was making me ill, which was having an impact on my family. And at that point, if it's my family or the company, it's got to be my family.
Yeah.
And
obviously.
if my egg goes pop, and I go pop, then they're the one that suffers.
Yeah.
So that's that. So with that. Any questions?
Oh, we still got to do a question for the...
we still have to. Yeah, we do have to do a question for the Weeha giveaway. Have you thought of one yet?
No.
You thought of one yet? Okay. Right. Seeing as we can't think of a decent question, although it's been a bit of a not really been a question type of podcast.
It's been very like drama.
Yeah, I'm actually knackered. What we'll do is you have to like and subscribe to the channel. So like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. At the time of recording this, we've still only got 86 subscribers. The views are great and things are going really well on the shorts and stuff. But subscribe to the channel, it really would help. And go over to the Weeha, the Weeha Instagram. And tag Talk Up in the comments of a picture that they will post, because I'll send it to them before this podcast goes live. Okay, so we got to go. Make sure you like the video, subscribe. It'll be easy to see if you subscribed or not, because like I say, we've only got 86 subscribers at this moment in time. And I'll and then fly over to Instagram. I'll put their link to their handle in the description, the show notes. Fly over there, tag Talk Up, which is on Instagram, which is Talk Up Pod, I think is our handle on there. Tag us in there on the post that I'll send them, and be in a chance to win it. Yeah. So there we go. We were going to do a Q&A, but I think we've already gone over our allotted time where people are bored of listening to us. Yeah. So we'll have to add those questions, and a lot of them were about the Hager video, to be fair, and what I just mentioned. I think hopefully I've covered most of those questions, even if I didn't get a chance to message you guys. But guys, also, I will shout you guys out. Everyone on Instagram who did take the time to message me to make sure I was okay, that I heard that I'd left and this, that and the other, and just asking after me and my family. Again, I really, really do appreciate. No, it's not been easy. But no, I'm not going anywhere. We're still doing a podcast. Like I say, I'm still working with these guys here at 360. And I'm sure I'll be back at some point in an electrical environment. I might be on site with James. Yeah, who knows?
Getting the attic.
That's it. Being his apprentice. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And until next time.
Thank you.
Cheers.